Welcome back. Thanks for being here. I really appreciate you guys showing up and watching this. So I just wanted to make a little truth bomb video. It's been a while since I made one, and every once in a while I want to get real with the camera and with the viewer and let you guys know how I'm feeling inside my head instead of just talking about stuff that I've learned and discovered. So it's interesting. The last video I made called "Fleas for Freedom." I have to admit, I was playing it rather loose and casual, and with some of the information I was presenting, and I just want to say it was too loose for my standards. It's something I'm going to try really hard not to be doing. I'm going to be more specific on the information, and I was doing a little guessing in the narrative with the information, and then some of the remembering. I hadn't watched the video I was discussing for many weeks, and I didn't take the time to rewatch it before I made the video, and that was just it's a novice mistake, but it's something that I do a lot in my life as I live my life, and I've been thinking a lot about that. Why am I doing that? Recently after I made that video. So I thought I'd discuss it a little bit. It's interesting, I think a lot of it has to do with laziness. It's a little bit of the procrastination that has to do with demand avoidance that we talk about in a lot of the autism videos that I watch. And, I think it could happen to anybody. Demand avoidance is, I think, what I'm experiencing when I don't do enough research. I definitely have a certain amount of laziness that I am not addressing when I don't, get the information tight like I really want to. And so, it makes me feel weird enough to make this video. So I just thought I'd bring it up and let you guys know what I'm thinking about it. The information is basically there. The problem with the Fleas for Freedom video is that by not getting the information tight like I'm wanting to, I didn't get to express more of the principal idea that I was trying to share. This idea that the fleas had, what I missed was saying that the fleas were adults when they went into the jar, not babies. They didn't grow up in the jar originally. They were adults that already knew how to jump 12 to 17 inches, not a meter. That was the other thing. And so, it's actually more fascinating to imagine fleas that had been conditioned by nature to jump a foot, and then they were conditioned for only 3 days, which maybe for fleas is many, months or years to them. But after 3 days in the jar, my God, they were only able to jump 6 inches for the rest of their lives. And then their babies also jumped 6 inches. So this means that even if a person was, conditioned in their life with freedom, if they were subjected to a lack of freedom long enough, it could actually affect them in a negative way. And I want to suggest, there's well, I put in my post the biography of an author named Ken Kesey, and when he went to jail for 6 months for marijuana possession in the 60s, I would have to suggest that happened to him. It wasn't 3 days in a jar, but it was 6 months in a box. And what that did to his artistic spirit was noticeable. And he talks about it, and we all saw it, and there it is. And that's what it is. That's what I was trying to discuss. So anyway, but it's funny, make a couple mistakes, and it leads to other thoughts in another video. So I thought, why not just, since I'm letting it all kind of hang out there, and talking about mistakes and little issues that are going on my side of the lens, I might as well discuss things that I imagine maybe viewers have had questions about, possibly. And I don't have many viewers, and I really thank all the viewers and subscribers that I do have. Thank you guys for being here and watching the video. I really appreciate it. But being a truth bomb video, there's two other things that I thought I'd bring up. every video I wear a hat, and there's obviously an explanation for that. The fun explanation is it has to do with art. If you've ever drawn art or learned about artists who draw art, you understand that what they do, one of the conventions they do, is to leave part of the object, the picture they're drawing, leave part of it off of the frame or outside of the outside of the edge of the paper they're drawing on or the canvas. And so you might have, like in this picture you're looking at right here in this room, I'm putting myself off to the edge and I'm not centered. And I'm doing that on purpose. It becomes more interesting, I think, to look at is the reason that artists do it. It leads something to the imagination, when you're not seeing the entirety of the picture. And so that's what I'm doing with this hat. It leaves something to the imagination, as well as, obviously I don't want to show you my uh, beginnings of alopecia. I feel like there's no reason to show the world my thinning hairline, and obviously I love my hair and I love hair in general. I mean, it's pretty clear, right? So I let the hair grow long as wherever I can and use it as much as I can. But yeah, it's shocking. It's shocking when you see somebody in such different states like this. For example, this happened to me. I when I was a kid, I think I was about 12 or 13 or something, when I knew this guy who would always wear a farmer type guy who would always wear a baseball cap on his head. And I knew him for years and always saw him with that baseball cap on his head. One day we went to his house and he came out of the kitchen door with his hat off, and he was completely bald. And he looked so different with his hat off, being bald, that, well, he had a hairline around the edge, so it looked like he had hair. So in my mind, I imagined him with hair. And this is, I had this image of him with a certain hairstyle in my mind. I really thought about it. Why did it affect me so much? When I saw him that first time without his hat on, it sort of, I don't know why, but it was sort of scary. It was scary maybe because I had already made a decision of what it looked like, and then when it was such a different reality, it shattered my confidence in what I was thinking. So anyway, that's all that it is. There's really nothing to see here except just a receding hairline that maybe one day you'll see. But that's all it is with the hat. And I like hats; they're warm and cozy, and there's comfort things going on with the hat as well. And then I guess one other thing is that the I didn't realize this until my sister mentioned it. She asked me why my one of my teeth was a different color than the other teeth, and I realized when she asked me that I have a tooth that is from my that never fell out of my head to become an adult tooth. It didn't make room to have an adult tooth come in. I have a baby tooth in my head. I have a tooth in my head that is from baby teeth days. And I, after she mentioned that, and I realized I had this baby tooth, the next time I went to the dentist, I asked him about it, and he showed me the X-rays and told me that he showed me the picture of a tooth above the baby tooth that never fell, that never dropped. He says that happens sometimes, and I don't remember why it happens or what he said about it. My friend here, my phrenology friend. But anyway, so it surprised me that I have this tooth from when I was, what, 1.5, 2 years old. It began to make me consider that, not many people have any part of themselves from when they were that young. Even your bones, regenerate. Your entire body has regenerated many times if you're, over 30, 40 years old. And so the only thing that doesn't regenerate is our teeth. And if you happen to have a baby tooth, that means you still have something from when you were a kid, a little kid. And to me, I'm extremely nostalgic. And so I love my baby tooth. It's a little darker than the others, but it works really good. And, I've never asked them to replace it or anything like that because of my nostalgia. So anyway, these are things about me that I never thought I'd talk about on YouTube, and it all stems from making a mistake. And, this would be a time when I would probably start winding down the video, but I wanted to bring in a topic for the next, excuse me, the next video that I make. I've been thinking about the next topic, and boy, excuse me, I had a video where I was discussing, how science and religion have historically been together, but there was sort of a break at some certain point, and that break is discussed and explored in the philosophy of phenomenology, which is phenomenology is just the study of phenomena, except that it's the study of phenomena that occurs subjectively or inside of ourselves, our emotions. When we put our feelers out there and we test the world with our sight and sound, hear, touch, and smell, those feelings bring back a response to our inner mind that then gives us an emotion that we can control and use for ourselves. And a lot of emotions, things like love and fear and joy, these are real things that everybody experiences every day, but scientists don't have any way to explain it or measure it. There's no love that you can, put on the scale and look into it under the microscope or anything. So these things that are mystical ideations, you might say, are looked into using the techniques that we use in the philosophy called phenomenology. So phenomenology is the next topic for the next video that I want to make. And to give us a little dose of what that's going to be like, I thought I'd bring up a quote from the quote book. God, I hope I don't make a mistake. So the first quote is going to be from a guy named Herbert Feigl. And then I'm going to lastly just end it with a quote that I said after I read and wrote that quote by Herbert Feigl. And these are concerning phenomenology. Here we go. Herbert says, quote, put the closed captioning on. It's, Herbert's an old world speaker. He's a little thick with the terms and stuff, but I love it. Quote, if in the utopian future of the complete neurophysiology, children could be taught to use the appropriate neurophysiological terms on the basis of introspection, these terms would then have the same sort of emotive meaning pictorial, emotional, or motivative appeals that psychological words have in common language. And there would be the additional advantages of getting rid of the spurious dualism that is essentially linguistic. The incorporation of words which fulfill a phenomenal introspective function into the total terminology of scientific explanatory terms could thus be achieved, unquote. And he's basically saying he wants better definitions for words, and he wants more people to be on the same page when we say words, so that, the game of using words is more understood and there's no ambiguous using of words. There's a place for using ambiguous words, like in poetry, but not so much in science, right? So I say, after reading that and writing it down, I say, if the totality of reality for humanity is based upon the collectivity of experience, for example, even a chimera is composed of real animals. A chimera is an animal with the head of a lion, the tail of an ox, the body of an eagle, all this kind of stuff. If the totality of reality for humanity is based upon the collectivity of experience, then how did we ever come up with the notion of God? Unless through the speculative reason of first principles. This would then fall under the category of the terminology of scientific explanatory terms mentioned above, unquote. So I'm basically suggesting that if Herbert Feigl is successful in creating scientific terms and a scientific world for phenomenology, then I'm saying this will lead us to having a basis for the scientific investigation for God, or the source, the prime mover, the thing that sustains life in the universe. And that might be good for everybody, no matter what it is or whatever we think it is. It would be helpful to maybe get us all on the same page on understanding what it is. And God, it'd be great to figure out what it is a little bit more. So anyway, I'm going to leave it with that. And I love you guys. I hope everybody's having a good time and a great day. And I'll see you next time. Try not to make too many mistakes out there. Bye-bye.